What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to Lorenzo for his contribution to the channel. Alright, so thank you, Lorenzo. Your message is funny, you know what I'm saying? But I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody that has contributed to this channel over the past year and has supported Too Raw for TV and the Patreon over the past year and then some, you know what I'm saying? Some of you guys have been long-time subscribers. So look, I am obligated to cover basketball. I do not particularly like the format, but this is a basketball channel. Hopefully these games, will grow on me. I'll get used to the fake crowds and all that, but it just looks so inauthentic to me, but I know one thing. Playoff time is what grips me. So when playoff time really comes, that's when I'll really, 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 really get into these games. So I want to start covering the games again, you know what I'm saying? It's that time. It's about time. All right, because this is a basketball channel, and you guys have subscribed to watch, listen to me talk about basketball, so I have to do it. So shout out to Ticket TV. I know he did a live stream covering this game and other games last night. I think he did a video about it this morning. So shout out to Ticket TV. If you're not subscribed to Ticket TV, please subscribe to Ticket TV. So I did watch the game between the Houston Midgets and the Portland Trailblazers, and I stand by my title. I think that Michael Jordan could come back today and in one game, even though I think he'll ice the hell out of his knees, I think he can get a double-double, man. I think he can get in the game and get 10 points and 10 rebounds against that team. And you know what, man? At the end of the day, I can't even just blame James Harden. Even though James Harden got exposed yet again, the world's greatest all-time scorer, supposedly, if you listen to ESPN and Fox Sports, the world's greatest all-time scorer constantly gets exposed. Yes, every now and then he will have a great game, against a good team. Yeah, he had a 47-point game against the Clippers early this year. Yeah, I think the year before, this past year, he had a 45-point game against the Warriors. But more often than not, against the better teams, James Harden is inconsistent, and he feasts on bad teams. The Knicks and the Hawks, the Pelicans, especially before Zion got there. He feasts on bad teams. The Grizzlies. The better teams, not so much. But even though James Harden had a bad night, he missed 10 out of 17 shots. He committed 4 turnovers. But of course, when he turns the ball over a lot, ESPN never mentions it. But when Westbrook does it, even though he only had 1 turnover last night, they mention it all the time. Now, both of them shot badly. Now, many of the other guys on the team stepped up and made some shots. But when you get out-rebounded, I think I saw the margin was 64-39. When you get out-rebounded that badly, you could have, Dale Ellis, Curry, Thompson, Miller. You could have all the great shooters on your team, and you're probably still going to lose that fucking game because despite the fact that Damian Lillard had a bad shooting night, especially in the first half, when you give your opponent that many more opportunities, second and third chances, you're giving the game away. But you know what? Like I'm trying to allude to, I don't even blame Westbrook and Harden as much as I blame Mike D'Antoni, Daryl Morey, and the Houston Midgets. And I'm calling them midgets because that's what they've turned into. Okay, they're small ball gone extreme, and this doesn't work. Okay, this does not work. You have to have some type of big man presence to win. I remember the Phoenix Suns did something like this in the late 1990s when they had a team with, what was it? I'm trying to remember that damn team they had. I think they had McDyess, who was playing center. But McDyess, as you know, was 6'8", 6'9". And I remember they had Jason Kidd. I think they had Jason Kidd. Rex Chapman. Oh man, I can't remember that damn team. But it was another team. I think they might have had Michael Finley still, but it was a small team. Okay, and they tried to outscore everybody, but they kept getting out pounded on the boards. Doesn't work. Okay. Also, because they were such a small team, there was one playoff game I remember where Sam Perkins was killing it from outside. Because Sam is 6'9", he's shooting threes. No one's out there to block him. Block his shot or alter his shot. But anyway, Sam will be great in this era too. He's a center, 6'9", 6'10", can easily give you 16 points, 8 rebounds, and he can shoot from outside with impunity now. He'd be great in this era. And he shot accurate. He shot accurate from outside, 36 to 40% from three. He'd be killing in this era. But anyway, back to the game though. Dame Lillard had a bad start. He was better in the second half. He pounded the boards in the second half. I think he had like 9 rebounds. Carmelo Anthony had 15 points. They scored by committee this game. It wasn't, one of the things that used to bother me about watching Portland earlier this year, there was a lot of hero ball, especially from Lillard. You know what I'm saying? Look, it's one thing when everybody else is struggling and you're hot. That's cool. If Lillard has a 50 or 60 point game and everybody else is, struggling. But it's another thing when you're forcing the issue and getting these 40-point games. McCollum is shot jacking to get 30, but Carmelo is hot, but then you don't give him the ball. Him being an older player, he needs to keep having the ball to keep his rhythm. And then you give him the ball in the fourth quarter after he hasn't touched the ball at all. For 2 quarters, you expect him to just start nailing the shots. That's what used to piss me off about Portland, is the way they would sometimes phase out other guys. But when they score by committee like they did, that was good. You know what I'm saying? Nurkic was active tonight. Last night, 18 points and 19 rebounds. And that's the problem. Nurkic is not a top, in my opinion, at least top 3 or 4 center in the league. And he went off like that, 18 points, 19 rebounds. What happens when you have a dominant primary scorer like a Davis pounding you offensively and on the boards? You know what I'm saying? Or other bigs like that. Houston's not going to go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. They're not going anywhere. And also shout out to Gary Trent Jr., son of former NBA player Gary Trent. And this is big because they're going to need somebody else to step up, because of the injury to Rodney Hood earlier. I think Rodney Hood tore his ACL earlier this year. So they're going to need somebody else to step up offensively. And if Gary Trent Jr. can be that, fourth guy offensively after Lillard, McCollum, and Anthony to step up offensively, and then Nurkic can give you, I don't know what does he usually give him, like 10 or 10 and 10, maybe 10 and 8. If he could do that, Nurkic's going to be key because the guy that, he suffered that rather gruesome leg injury, so you hope that he holds up physically. But Portland's in a much better place now than they were during the beginning of the restart. I read that at the beginning of the restart, they were 3.5 games out of that A spot, and now they're 1.5 games. So Portland is in the hunt. And a part of me does root for Portland. You know what I'm saying? A part of me is rooting for Carmelo to get deeper in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all I got to say, man. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you guys think.